Olivia was a single mom in America, juggling rent, daycare costs, and credit card bills that never seemed to shrink. She'd lost her previous job when her son got sick and she missed too many days. So when she landed a receptionist position at a mid-sized tech company, she took it. Not because it matched her talent, but because she needed groceries and gas. Every day, she greeted people with a tired smile. Every night, when the phone stopped ringing, she stayed late to fix messy spreadsheets, organize schedules, and rewrite confusing emails. No one asked her. No one thanked her. But she couldn't help it. She wanted things to run better. She didn't know someone was watching. The quiet guy in the corner office, Ethan, saw her through the glass walls. Not the cheap blazer or the reception nameplate, but the way she treated the janitor with the same respect as the VP, the way she stayed late without complaining, the way her face softened every time she answered a FaceTime call and whispered, "Hey buddy, mommy's almost done, okay? One more hour." One night, a storm rolled over the city, thunder, icy rain, those Midwest winds that cut right through coats. The office emptied early. People grabbed their laptops and bolted. Except Olivia. She stayed, finishing up a report she'd started just to help another department. When she finally shut down her computer, it was almost 9 p.m. The elevator was acting up, so she headed for the stairs, arms full of folders, heels in one hand. Halfway down she slipped. Papers exploded across the concrete steps. She just sat there, shoulders shaking, whispering to herself, "Maybe I'm just not meant to get ahead. Maybe this is it for me." A calm voice behind her said, Hey, you're more than meant for this. You just need someone to finally see it." She turned around, embarrassed, wiping her tears with the back of her hand. It was the quiet guy from the elevator. Jeans, sneakers, hoodie, holding a to-go cup of coffee like he practically lived at the office. I'm sorry," she stammered. "I'll pick it up. I was just leaving." "It's okay," he said gently, crouching down to help her stack the scattered papers. "I've been watching you work." Her heart dropped. "Did I do something wrong?" He gave a small smile. "Yeah, you've been doing 3 people's jobs and only getting paid for one." She let out a shaky laugh. "That's sort of my specialty." "You don't belong stuck at the front desk," he said. "You belong where decisions are made." She shook her head instantly. "People like me don't get invited into those rooms. I didn't go to some fancy school. I don't fit." He met her eyes. "Then maybe the rooms need to change." A week later, she was called into the large conference room. Her stomach twisted. Had she messed up the schedule? Misrouted a call? She smoothed her Target blazer and walked in. Everyone was there, department heads, managers, people in sharp suits. At the front of the room stood the quiet guy from the elevator, but this time, he was in a tailored suit, and behind him on the screen were the words, "Ethan Stone, CEO." Her chest tightened. "CEO." Ethan looked right at her. "Before we start," he said, "I want to introduce someone who has been quietly fixing our broken systems, catching our mistakes, and making this place better every single day, without a title and without recognition." Her hands trembled. "Olivia has been doing operations work from the front desk," he continued. "Starting today, she's our new operations assistant. And if anyone has a problem with that, they haven't been paying attention to who actually keeps this company running." For the first time in a long time, someone with power had said her name with pride. Her eyes filled with tears as a few people clapped, some awkwardly, some genuinely. She'd always been the girl who was grateful to be here. No one had ever told her she belonged here. After the meeting, she found him in the hallway. "Why would you do that for me?" she asked, still in disbelief. He shrugged lightly, but his eyes were serious. "Because I grew up watching my mom clean office buildings at night while people walked past her like she was invisible," he said. "She was the smartest, hardest working person I knew, but no one saw her. I promised myself if I ever had the chance, I'd never let someone like her, or you, go unseen." That day was a turning point. Over the next few months, their paths crossed more often. Late-night strategy sessions where she shared ideas he actually implemented. Quick lunches where he'd ask, "What do you think we're missing?" and then really listen. Moments when her son's school called and she panicked and Ethan said, "Go. Family first. We'll figure the rest out." Slowly, the way she saw herself began to change. She stopped apologizing every time she spoke up. She stopped shrinking to fit into the corner of the room. She started taking up space. And somewhere between the conference calls, the shared jokes about bad office coffee, and the quiet, honest conversations about fear and failure, she realized she wasn't just inspired by him. She was falling in love with him. One evening, after she nailed a big presentation she'd almost talked herself out of, hands shaking, voice cracking but still standing, she slipped outside to the balcony, overlooking the city lights. Her legs felt like jelly. I probably sounded stupid, she muttered to herself. They're going to realize I don't belong here. The door opened behind her. Ethan stepped out, loosening his tie. You were incredible in there, he said. She shook her head. I was terrified. He leaned on the railing beside her. So was I. That's how you know it matters. She let out a breath. I keep waiting for the moment someone figures out I'm just the receptionist who got lucky. He turned toward her. You didn't get lucky, Olivia. You showed up when it was hard. You worked when no one watched. You took chances when you were scared. That's not luck. That's who you are. She looked up at him, eyes glossy. Why do you believe in me this much? He hesitated for a moment, then said quietly, because somewhere along the way, believing in you started to matter more to me than anything else. Her heart thudded. Ethan. He took a slow breath. I didn't plan this. I didn't expect this. But I need you to know. I'm in love with you. Not just with your work or your ideas, with the way you fight for your son, the way you keep going when life keeps hitting you, the way you make everyone around you feel seen. I wanted to help you grow. I didn't know I'd find the person I want to grow with. For a long moment, all she heard was the hum of the city and her own racing heartbeat. This doesn't feel real, she whispered. It is, he said. And I know life is messy. You're a mom. I'm your boss. We'll have to navigate it the right way. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Some people walk into your life to remind you of who you were. And some walk in to show you who you can become. A tear slipped down her cheek. But this time it wasn't from exhaustion or fear. It was relief. Because for the first time in her life in America, a life full of paying fees, filling out forms, hustling for every dollar, she realized she wasn't alone anymore. She had a partner who didn't just want to rescue her from her struggle, but wanted to stand beside her in it and build something better together. Love, she realized, isn't about someone fixing everything. It's about someone seeing all your broken pieces and saying, I'm not scared. I'm staying. So if you're watching this on your phone, sitting in your car on your break, or lying awake at night wondering if your hard work even matters, hear this. You might feel like just the receptionist, just the cashier, just the assistant. But the right people, the right opportunity, and yes, the right love will see the CEO in you long before you ever do.